Bigger isn't always better when it comes to ruling the sea. Some of the largest ocean creatures aren't dangerous at all. However, in our battle, it seems like size has a huge role. Anyway, what do you think? Who is at the top of the ocean's food chain? Life in the ocean is harsh for many marine animals. Every day, they struggle to find food and avoid becoming one. But when it comes to orcas and sharks, they don't have these issues. They are the class bullies, chilling around and having different animals on their dinner tables. Fishes, snakes, seals, you name it, they've eaten it. Evolution is an amazing thing. It has adapted some marine animals so well that they became the ultimate predators. From reptiles to mammals, from reef fish to large monsters, deadly marine predators come in many forms. But sharks and orcas are just another category. Orcas. A killer whale cannot be properly depicted or described except as an enormous mass of flesh armed with savage teeth. I think this would be the right definition to describe them. And why are they called killers? Well, because they are. Although their food varies in different parts of the world, yes, they kill other animals to make a living. To put this in the simplest way possible, orcas were widely recognized by non-indigenous societies as the embodiment of evil until about 55 years ago. Keeping in mind that they used to devour mariners at every opportunity and destroy boats, their nickname is not a surprise. I know what you think. That was a long time ago, right? Well, in 1973, there was an announcement coming from the US Navy saying, quote, "Orcas will attack human beings at every opportunity." And they were described as, quote, "extremely ferocious," even though there's no evidence about this. There's one more thing that puts a label on them. Have you ever watched Rick Harris and Bo Derek's movie Orca, the Killer Whale? Well, if you did, then you know where I'm going with this. This movie did to orcas what Jaws did to sharks. Orcas are the only animals that kill for revenge next to people, according to the storyline of the movie. But let's be honest now. Orcas were memorable animals even before the movie. It's hard to miss their distinctive black and white markings. And since this big beast grows up to 12,000 pounds and 32 feet long, a human is no match for a killer whale. That's roughly 600 times the size of a grown man. Despite their bad reputation, there are no documented cases that they've ever killed people. Quite the opposite. There are some periods of the year in which people from the Faroe Islands are killing hundreds of orcas. And captivity is just another sad story. So, who is the real killer now? Anyway, killer whales are not exactly part of the whale family. Did you know that orcas are the largest member of the dolphin family? So to put it in other words, they're killer dolphins. The word whale is used because of their size. Okay, let's say we don't call them killer whales anymore, and let's focus on their other name, orcas. That name comes from the whale's scientific Latin name, Orcinus orca. Do you think it's a jolly connotations name? No, not at all. It means belonging to the kingdom of the dead. Orcas are one of the most widely distributed mammals on the planet. For millennia, they've been hitting that like button just like you should do if you haven't done so already. No, really. For millennia, they've been an important part of coastal indigenous cultures. Indigenous people in the Pacific Northwest have always regarded killer whales with awe and respect. That is the reason why they figure prominently in social structure, indigenous art, and mythology. People from Haida Gwaii Islands revered the killer whale as the most powerful member of the undersea world. Among the people on Vancouver Island, they're known as the enforcers of the sea. On the northeast coast of Vancouver Island, orcas are known as mythical beings. Now, before I move on with the final battle, let's talk about the sharks a little bit. Great white shark. They might be the most famous predators in the sea, but scientists know very little about the great white sharks. To determine exactly why unprovoked they attack humans is impossible. As the Australian shark attack file is saying, the reason is always different: hunger, confusion, attractants, curiosity, mistaken identity, and even territorial self-defense. Hollywood did a lot of movies with these guys, and that just led to their bad reputation. The fact is that shark attacks on humans are exceedingly rare, and even more rarely, are fatal. Anyway, its efficiency as a predator and its size adds to the perpetuation of this unnecessary fear. With an average weight of 2,250 kilograms and 4.5 meters in length, it's not a surprise why these guys are spreading fear in the deep waters. Some have been recorded as large as 6 meters. They have a very unique hunting technique as well. They would most likely hunt early in the morning when light levels are low. And let's not forget, they're good stalkers. From sufficient depth near the bottom, they would start stalking their target to remain undetected during the approach. And then, in just a few seconds, they would launch vertically, resulting in a fatal or incapacitating initial strike. This technique maximizes their chance of catching a seal unaware. They're the largest predatory fish in the world, a real apex predator. They have haunted the popular imagination as bloodthirsty man-eaters for centuries. Their name comes from the snow-white ventral sides, even though the dorsal sides of their bodies are not white, although they can also be brown, black, or dark blue. Aiding them with efficient swimming skills, they have the typical torpedo shape. Considering how heavy they are, it's awesome that this fish is such a great swimmer. If you are wondering what the odds of dying from a shark attack are, then you'd be happy to know that it is 1 in 3.5 million. Sounds like my lottery odds. According to the University of Florida's International Shark Attack File, between 1580 and 2022, there have been 1,563 shark attacks in America. In second place on this list is Australia, with 143 shark attack bites between 2012 and 2021. But now, back to the main topic. Who would win in a fight between an orca and a great white shark? Well, orcas, no doubt. In fact, what would you say if I tell you that very often orcas have a slice of great white meat on their dinner tables? A great white shark is a joke to them, taking in mind that they are eating other large whales. Their hunt for the sharks is called karate chop. This is the most profound tactic killer whales use in hunting sharks. You thought that sharks are dangerous predators? Well, they are one of their favorite delicacies, but only in situations when they have difficulty finding less defensible prey in the ocean. Orcas are using their tails to drive down to the surface of a watery vortex. Then they would raise their tails into the air and crush the shark on its head, leaving it in a paralyzed state. Then they go for its liver. Researchers monitoring great white sharks in California's southeast Farallon Island noticed that every time orcas cross paths with them, the great white sharks vanish until the next season, and they don't return to their hunting grounds. Here's an excerpt of their data. Quote, in 2009, they noticed something odd. 17 of their tagged white sharks had been regularly feeding on elephant seals around Cephei for months. But on November 2nd that year, when orcas from 2 different pods arrived at Cephei, not staying for too long, all 17 sharks disappeared within the next 8 hours. Killer whales are famous for hitting that subscribe button and hitting that notification bell. No, really. In all seriousness now, killer whales are famous for their sophisticated intelligence, hunting tactics, and creativity. Both orcas and great white sharks are amazing creatures, and they might look scary, but the biggest predator in the world is none other than people. With all those oil spills, chemical pollution, carbon emissions, drilling and mining, plastic pollution, and overfishing, we are destroying their home and our beautiful planet. But it's not too late to turn things around, despite the negativity surrounding the current state of our oceans. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.